In the success of Zurich-based DAIMANI, a 2021 winner of an SAP Innovation Award. Joining us here in our EMEA studio is Max Müller, CEO of DAIMANI. Max, welcome to the studio. How are you?
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm great.
Excellent. Briefly, tell us a little bit about DAIMANI and some of your recent activities.
Yes, we at DAIMANI, we're doing this, what most of us have missed so much the last 12 months or 14 months. We are selling major events and premium experiences for these major events. So when you want to go to a Formula One, to a Wimbledon, or to a Rugby World Cup in 23, you go to DAIMANI, and we are still the only and first global marketplace for VIP experiences.
And how does choosing SAP help you?
Choosing SAP helped us to go globally within 9 months in 2019. We launched DAIMANI in 2019, and for us, our business is a global business. And to really sell and service these VIP hospitality experiences globally with the SAP technology, we were able to have, for example, data centers in China, Australia, America, as an example, to have in real time the 74 currencies. We are selling our products and these events. I think this was really the key amazing thing with SAP, is that we went out globally basically in 9 months.
Now, which SAP solutions did you choose, and how long was the implementation process?
Yes, the implementation process was around this 9 months, when you can add around two months contract negotiations at lakes like this, so between 9 and 11 months. We have the full CX suite, so the customer experience suite, which is the commerce cloud, the sales and service cloud, the customer data cloud, the marketing cloud, very important in our case. We have, of course, S/4HANA. In the cloud. This is basically our ERP, where basically we make all financial transactions. And a core element is the business technology platform here, the integration suite within this whole architecture, because one of our key elements we needed to solve, we need to communicate with a lot of external partners. So events, venues, ticketing platforms, now in the future as well, accommodation and flight providers. So to be able to really communicate with a very heterogeneous ecosystem, we built this on the SAP Business Technology Platform.
Can I ask how the pandemic played a role in creating challenges for the implementation of all of this?
On the implementation itself, the pandemic didn't create any challenge. Of course, it's business-wise, events were not allowed globally, and we completely understand this, and this was a necessary step for the health of everybody. Yeah. Of course, what helped us, or what supported it in the end, the pandemic situation, is that everybody now is used to purchase online. Of course, there were always this key e-commerce market, like in the States, like Germany, like UK, but there were many countries where e-commerce was not so natural, especially in the luxury segment where we are there. And of course, that now the last 12, 13 months, you had no other way than to purchase online. This, of course, gave us, a push into digitalization in our industry too.
It's really fascinating because over the last few days, so many people have talked about the strange, unexpected silver linings of the pandemic, the disruption forcing people to accelerate their innovation process. Were there other non-pandemic related challenges that you faced?
No, of course it was. It was as a business was there. I think everybody was, our industry was the first to have been affected and will be the last. I think we are still not through this yet. There are some markets now where events are allowed yet. We see now from the customers there's a huge demand for events which taking place from 23 onwards. So in the next years, I would say, like the Rugby World Cup in France. And I think the other challenge was, but I would not tell it a challenge. It was even, I think, for me, good to see. We all saw that virtual events don't replace live events. We all saw this. We looked at all the streamings for concerts, for sport events, but there was not really possible to substitute this digitally. And this we see, that being live at an event can't be replaced by any technology. To purchase this, to serve it, the customer experiences before and after this event there the digitalization really helps a lot. And I think, just to your question before, I want to give another point which I realized through the pandemic. There's more trust now in high value transactions in the internet experiences. We see now the average baskets are quite higher than before. So the trust to make a high value expenditure, like a $20, $30, $30,000, I would say, with one transaction from individuals. Yeah, it seems that there is now much more trust than before in purchasing online. This is I personally experienced.
That's absolutely fascinating. So what advice would you offer other companies facing a similar situation like yours?
Of course, and this was one of the reasons to use SAP in the cloud and only in the cloud. I think my first advice is always, I would not even think about these days to be on-prem. I would go in the cloud because as well in our solution, 80% of the functionality is standard solutions. That's clear. You have many things, you don't need to reinvent the wheel in many cases. And there's as well this 20% where you have customized the product, where you have industry-specific matters you have to develop, and this for us as well works. So there was no conflict between standard in the cloud and our own customization, where I hear it in many cases that why does cloud work with own code, with own development? Yes, it works. In our case, it works at least. As well as the security, I think customer data protection and customer security in this virtual world, we see this as well. Of course, this was one of the effect in the pandemic to really look and invest a lot in security to protect your customer data for fraud in the end. I think this is another recommendation. And third, and I saw it in a video before our interview, is to act globally. I think internet, there is no barriers. You don't think just in one market. And here SAP helped us as well to really act globally, to use power of technology that normally smaller companies like us never could have access to.
Awesome. Max, what's on the horizon for your company? And is there anything specific we should be watching out for in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia?
Yes, our next step is, of course, we so-call it connected services, which is in the end, you're going to an event, like you're going to the Rugby World Cup 23 in France, and you not only want to buy your premium life experiences, you want to take, because you're one day, a weekend, or a week, you are in France, as an example. Out of one hand, you want to book your transportation or your flight. You want to look for the restaurants which fitting to you after the event, the hotel room, the transport, so everything basically in one hand, like an event destination a platform. So this is our next step, where we evolve DAIMANI and the DAIMANI services for the customer.
Great. And any additional thoughts?
No, I think additional thought is basically what I think the key thing is, even we meet now virtually. I would love to be with you, of course, on a physical premises. It works in many cases, the digital live experiences, but I think it's key that hopefully in the next 2 years we are coming back and we can all meet again live together in a conference or at a live event.
Excellent. I want to loop in Claire and see if there are any reactions or questions for Max.
Thanks so much, Melissa. And thanks, Max, for joining us in the studio. It's so great to have you here sharing your insights. Now, I understand that you were able to weather the pandemic without too much trouble, but we do have a question from our audience that follows on from what Melissa was saying. Are you planning to ramp up after the pandemic? I mean, what are your plans going ahead to really ramp things up once we move into this post-COVID world?
For us, it's always to have, the key element is to have the best events in this world on our platform, which is between 500 and 1,000 key major events on a global scale, and the best leagues and venues. So this is basically what we are doing, to bring all these amazing events on our platform. We don't want to have all events. We're really looking at the premium live events, and then we will scale up. We will go to America by end of the year. So we will go in a new market. We have not been so present before, and this will be our next step.
All right, new market, new horizon. Thanks so much for that. I'm going to turn it back to you for now, Melissa.
Thanks so much, Claire. And thank you so much, Max, for joining us in the studio. We really appreciate your insights. All very exciting things.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yes. Congratulations.